Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thanks. Well, first order of business. Shannon will be here shortly. So first order of business is to approve the meeting minutes of regular meeting December 17th. Excuse me. Is there such a motion? Thanks, Mike. Second, Kevin?
Second.
All right, were there any corrections or to those minutes? No? All right, then all in favor of approving the minutes of December 17th, 2024, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say no. All right, they're approved. Is there a motion to adopt tonight? I want to make a change to the agenda. I say we hold the elections after Shannon gets here. Y'all okay with that?
So do you need a motion to move it?
No, we'll just hold it later.
Okay.
No, I don't think we need a motion. We'll
Okay.
just move it down the list.
Okay.
So it's still on the agenda, it's just in a different location. So if everybody's okay with that change, then we'll take a motion to adopt the agenda with that change.
Yep.
We'll make a motion then.
I'll make a motion to adopt tonight's agenda with the change.
Okay, now is there a second to that?
I'll go ahead. I'll second.
Can Mike seconded it? All right, any other questions or changes to that? Not hearing any. All those in favor of adopting tonight's agenda with the change of moving the election of board officers to later in the meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say no. All right, any public comments out there? Nathan? Anybody want to speak here? Forever hold your peace. All right, well, then we'll move off of public comments and move to spotlight on success. Board recognition. Years are going way too fast.
It's January again.
Jiminy.
That means it is School Board Appreciation Month, and my name is Jessica Sorensen. I'm the president of the Corpus Elementary School PTO, and on behalf of the Puddle Jumpers,
Oh,
and
thank you.
the students and the staff. I'm gonna make here. There we go.
Thank you.
Just a little word of encouragement and a little recognition and thank you for all that you do for our families. And Hazel, all that you do to support this fantastic school board. We appreciate all the decisions and time and effort that you put into our community, our kids, our staff, our families. So we just wanted to make sure that you knew that. And we appreciate you.
Well, I have to say this, it's our pleasure. Every 2 weeks, we get to come here and do that. And it's our pleasure to help you.
Good.
Yeah, and thank you for this. Which one is this? Oh, Outfitters. I
Outfitters.
see it. Okay.
In case you're one of those silly people that don't drink coffee, there's a whole plethora of things you can purchase.
That's a good point.
And I'm gonna piggyback off of you.
Please do.
So,
Is that allowed?
the PSC would also like to say thank you. This is on behalf of the PSC, not me. Dora and Kathy put these together for you.
Oh, cool.
And then,
Oh, thanks.
when you guys
Thank you.
came in the fall to our Spotlight of Success, you shared with me your favorite books. And so I've gotten you each a copy of your favorite book that I'm going to donate on your behalf to our library.
Oh, that's
So-
awesome.
On the inside, it's got a plate that says your name, and so I'll be donating these.
I don't remember what I said.
Well, I do. I
Do
did.
you remember that, Kevin?
Ritzy. You said
Oh my
Ritzy.
God, I haven't seen that.
And yours is on the way. Yours has been ordered.
I don't
and it's on
even,
the way.
I don't even, does it even exist
It
anymore?
does.
Does it
It
really?
does. Instant replay.
Oh, that is
I
hilarious.
just watched it.
This is
Mouse on the
my
motorcycle.
mouse and the motorcycle. Woo-hoo.
I read
There you
that.
go. So,
Can we take them home and read them first?
you can take it home and read it as long as it gets back to the
Yeah, but
library.
you need to
So
check it
thank you
out.
guys so much for all you guys do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
that's a
And the
cool
That's a
idea.
cool idea. That's so
And the
awesome.
kindergartners, hands, prints, you guys are the best. We appreciate all you do.
Thank you.
You guys make
Oh,
a
yeah, there
difference.
they are.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you.
And I just wanted to let you know that I had the wonderful opportunity of meeting the PTO, elementary PTO last Thursday.
Mhm.
Yeah, I gave them the EP&O levy talk, and just what a great group of parents, and listening to them, the first 5 minutes, they were talking about what their kids were reading at home, which I found really, really encouraging, that our kids are still reading books at home. And they were talking about which ones they liked and which ones were engaging. This was before the meeting actually started. So you always ask, do our kids still read? And I would say, if listening to the parents talk, absolutely.
In the grade school.
Well, that's neat. Thank
But
you a
anyway, so
bunch, you
please
guys.
thank them for
I will.
everything that they do, because
Appreciate you joining
you,
us.
you meet monthly, right?
Yes.
Yeah. They do a lot for our school.
Oh,
Just sprinkle the
Don't you remember it?
I gotta see when
So
they-
Sarah purchased the books that we said we liked from when we did our Spotlight on Success in her building, and she's donating them to the library.
Oh,
Is that not awesome?
1964.
Yeah,
probably what
that's
it was that I read.
All right.
Oh, that's so cool.
yeah.
How neat. Wonder when this was written.
Right after you were born,
Probably.
1912.
When's that?
What?
I
1965.
wondered
That
if she
is
was
right
listening.
after. That's so cool. Thank you. That's awesome.
I don't know if I've ever read that.
Do you want me to bring them to the library, Sarah?
Over 50 years ago, since its publication more than 50
Okay.
years ago. They should
Perfect.
say right in the second page
That's
there,
such a cool idea. I think I have this book at home yet.
next page.
Yeah, I got this book at home still. From when I was a kid.
That must be why I have a motorcycle as well.
Oh, bad. Next page.
No, and this-
My
You
reading
have
at
a
home later will get
motorcycle?
ruined.
That's probably so.
You ride it to work.
1968.
Original spread copy, sheet 70. 1961.
Okay.
1968.
We'll do,
Thank you,
we'll do
Jessica
more
and
spotlight on
all.
success. A reminder,
Yeah.
our next board meeting, Sheila and Myron will be with us, but the culinary arts program will be cooking dinner for you. So what time are we to be here?
It's at dinner's at 4:30.
Dinner will be at 4:30, and we'll
Okay.
either be in here or in Shelley's room.
Okay. Well, fun. Well, thank you all. Like I say, I believe everybody here, it's their pleasure to be here, so I think I can speak for everyone. Okay, let's back up one then. I think now might be an appropriate time. I'm looking out for you, Shannon,
Okay,
because you were late,
I know, sorry.
and
Grandma
that's
duty.
prime,
Grandma duty.
that's prime chairman territory.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
It's election of board officers.
Oh,
So I guess the first thing we should do is ask Kevin what he thinks.
I think that we should leave it the way it is.
I don't care. Does anybody care?
So we will need a nomination for each position, and then a second, and then a vote.
Oh, is that the problem?
That's
We
the
can't just
Robert's
do-
Rules of Order,
Just
yes.
can't do it all in one.
No. No.
All right, the nominations are open for board chair.
I nominate Bill Rhodey.
Second. that.
Are there any other nominations?
The gift that keeps giving.
Keeps giving,
Call
yeah.
for the vote.
There's a, what's that?
I said call for the vote.
Calling for a,
Don't hesitate.
all right, all those in favor of Bill Rhodey for chair, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say no. Okay, nominations are open for vice chair.
Make motion, we nominate Ron Hearn.
She hasn't done it for what, a week? All right, well, second. I think I can second.
You can, yeah.
I don't get to second much.
No.
All right, I think that, any other nominations for vice chair? All right, all those nominations are closed. All those in favor of Ron, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. Ron, did you abstain?
I said it, I said.
You said aye? Okay,
Very
all right,
polite.
good. Just testing, all right. Welcome to the team. Nominations are now open for legislative rep.
Nominate
Who?
Shannon.
Shannon? All right, is there a second to that?
I'll second.
Do we have to second a nomination? No,
Mhm.
do we? Okay.
Mhm.
All right,
Mhm.
any other nominations for legislative representative? Not hearing any, they're closed. All those in favor of Shannon for legislative rep, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. Okay, nominations are open for WIAA representative.
I'll nominate Mike Reed.
I'll
Aren't you
second.
the current one though? Yeah, but I can still nominate you.
I'll second.
All right, are there any other
He's really quick
nominations
on
for
that.
WIAA rep?
That was fast.
Yeah.
That was
We've been switching
sneaky.
back and forth on that one year after year.
We could really decide where the board is on this if we nominate Kevin. All right, any other nominations?
I nominate Kevin to be third chair.
Third chair.
Yeah.
In the event we have two out again,
Correct.
Okay, yeah.
You can't do that.
you did a nice job.
We'll make a new position.
All right, well, nominations are closed then for the WIA rep. All those in favor of Mike, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. All right, I believe that covers us. Kevin, you get a year off.
I think I had the last year off.
Oh, well, I'd like to reopen then.
No, Mike gets a year off.
All right, so we have the board duly constituted. We'll move on then. Is that good? Can we move on? It's a thumbs up. Consent agenda. All righty, is there a motion to adopt tonight's consent agenda?
Make a motion, we adopt tonight's agenda.
Consent
Consent
agenda.
agenda.
Thanks. Second?
I'll second.
All righty. Any questions about it? A lot of agreements, amendments to agreements. Routine stuff. Not hearing any. All those in favor of the consent agenda say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say no. The consent agenda is adopted. Our reports. Financial report, November ending fund cash balance.
Okay, so we're playing catch up because of the ending of the fiscal year with Jan getting everything in. So the month of November, we had a small apportionment. It's our smallest apportionment at 5%. So our revenues were a little over 4 million. Our expenditures were over 3.5 million, with an additional 313,000 left over. And we had 11 million, almost 12 million in the county treasurer, the general fund. We had 18% of our $64 million budget. And so you can see the trend right under 22, 20, 23. Right, it's just right where we were then. Next. And our undesignated, unreserved were 8 point. Just in reviewing the general fund, one of the noted items is that I asked Jan, because one of the things that will come into play when we start working on our field project is using local dollars, not designated for levy items, but other local funding for matching, as we will begin starting our field project for the field turf for fast pitch and baseball fields. And so to give you an idea, in the county treasurer, when we have 11 million some sitting there, it currently, the rate is 3.57. So when you look at that over the course of a year, there's 400,000. So technically we could, if we needed to come up with $1.5 million of local dollars, and we didn't want to take from our timber dollars in the debt service fund or in our local levy, we could use those as local dollars to match our field. And we certainly, I think last year we had a total of, we also have a smaller CD out of that funding and that we roll over every year. I think our overall earnings from that last year was almost $500,000. So that easily over the last 3 years could equate, we could track it back to if we needed $1.5 million. This project will go for 2 full years. And so we're not going to need that much money up front, but I just wanted to kind of gauge where that was. I had Jan look up what the rate was right now. The other thing we saw, hi Sheila, we saw more timber dollars come in our debt service fund. We budgeted fewer than what we were thinking at 120,000, but we're already a third, almost a half, collected half of that, and we're only September, October, November, 3 months in. So we could probably see more than we had budgeted for.
Remind me, the timber dollars, is there a formula that splits it up between our debt and what's left over for our use?
There are, when you, so in our debt service fund, we have 4 more years of paying our debt, and remember in 2027 it sails away, actually 3 years then, 3 full years. And we pay $1.1 million to pay every year to pay off our debt. So if we get more timber dollars in that debt service and it keeps building and we have surplus, that's where you can say we either pay off our debt, which we don't want to do at such a low rate and continuing to get our timber, or you can also use it for capital projects.
Gotcha.
One or the
That's
other.
right.
Yeah, but some of that
So-
comes from common school for the bond. Though. In this,
No.
the one we're talking about.
No,
is
the
for-
common schools we got up front, we got 11 million up front that offset what the debt service was. So that's where
That's what.
that's the school SCAP, school construction. Yeah.
So who pays the $1.1 million every year?
We do out of
But out of what?
out of the debt service fund,
Which is,
taxes and timber dollars.
okay, so there's there's usually a surplus over the 1.1,
Correct.
which is what we then
Wow.
choose what to do with.
Yeah, and you transfer that out to pay for the stadium.
Gotcha.
We are currently building more, and then again, the more timber dollars you go in, the less your tax collection is. That offsets that tax collection, but you have to have a bond to get those, and you have to have your levy for it to come in the general fund. We get some in the general fund, and we get some in the debt service fund.
So this is kind of not, well, it is sort of. So how much are we anticipating that construction to cost?
About 3 million when it's all said and done. That's putting all the drainage in. I mean, you saw
Yeah,
when we
site
built the
prep and
field.
all,
Yeah. Yeah, and then bleachers, site improvement. We have to do quite a bit of draining out there because of I call it the puddle jumper puddle, the puddle jumper lake. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, further discussion later.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Anyway, that's an update. No, we'll do December's at the next meeting, and then we'll roll into our enrollment at the next board meeting. So that's all I have.
Okay. All right, thanks. Now you want to move on, let's see, review of board goals, the superintendent's report. We're going to talk about our board goals, which have already been made.
So I'll let you guys talk about it, because if you want to link it back to our training that we had on
Right.
Tuesday.
So we can, do we want
So we
to,
can add
do we want
that
to,
in.
do we want to modify these to reflect that?
Well, I think, why don't you fill Kevin and Ron in, kind of what you learned at our wonderful
Okay.
training. I thought it was really a very robust discussion from you guys. The probably best I've had being a superintendent in the school districts about setting goals and expectations, high expectations for our students. And I've already kind of prepped our building principals who are sitting
So they
there.
won't be fainting
No,
on
so they
us?
won't be faint upon us. But why don't you talk
Well,
about what you
yeah.
learned?
So as I understand it, we've set up goals for decreasing absenteeism and increasing academic achievement. And we learned in our training, which is something that I think we've discussed in years past also, is why do we set them so low? And the word is that if you don't set them high, you don't ever reach them. And I tend to think that that's true. So what we're talking about is raising these percentages to something that we would like to see, like 90%. So on grade rating level, third grade, we want it to increase. If it's now 20%, we don't want it to go to 40%. We want it to go to 90%. If it's math, the same thing. We want a 90%. What am I saying? 90% achievement level. If we're talking about absenteeism, we want 90%.
Which decreasing the chronic absenteeism by 10% would get us at 80%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, whatever.
So I think the $1 million question.
We
would
want to
be-
make it
Yeah,
more powerful and along kind of a goal that is we can strive for. I think we get complacent when our goals are so small. And in a class of 10, if you're looking for a 20% raise, you're only going to talk about 2 kids. And there still might be 8 kids that aren't doing it. So we want everybody to be achieving. So we want to, I think what we're saying is we want if I've got this right, we would like to improve change those percentage goals to reflect a higher expectation. Is that how you, Mike, you and
Yes.
Yeah.
Shannon
that's how
understood
I
it?
saw It's better to aim high and hit a little bit low than aim low
And never get high?
And what was the example? They were talking, it was 80%. They aimed for 80.
well, actually, remember, she showed the board meeting where the math department were the last to set a 90% goal. And they set a 90% goal in the first year. They made 80. They made an 80%. I mean, all kids, 80% of the kids made it across the board. And in the second year, they reached that 90% just by setting higher expectations.
And I think what that does, if we set those higher expectations, then I think I would like to think that the school staff would realize that we're serious, that we really do want to see, as close to perfection as we can get in terms of learning. And to me, if we just set them low, we're accepting mediocrity. And I don't think we should be accepting mediocrity. I think we should be striving for the highest we can get. So set the bar high.
So what
Okay.
kind of feedback are we getting over here? Go.
Yes, sirs and ma'am.
That's been my mantra, that if you believe kids can, then they can. If you believe that they can't, then you're right. So I like the flip and increasing that, putting the pressure on, and the whole concept that we believe that our kids can.
How do you think it'll be received in your staffs?
I think that they might be energized.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you all 3 agree? Okay.
It would be nice.
So let it sink in.
It'd be nice if there was some way we could have a reward for that if they do hit their goal. But I don't know what that could be.
Pride.
What would be a reward? I can think of no better way. I mean, a banner. I can think of no better way than for parents to know that their kids were high achievers, all of them. I mean, I think that's our kids. I don't think they need any tangible.
Yeah.
I think that would be.
I mean, ice cream always is nice.
Yeah. Ice cream social.
Yeah.
So We should probably change this and,
Okay,
maybe we can rewrite it and bring it to the next meeting as an amended goal.
okay. And so then I'll do that for the testing. And then on grade level reading at third grade will increase by, I'll do that as well there. I get the chronic absenteeism and we can easily say decrease it by 20%. I'm going to give you the absenteeism report next time. What would you think? And maybe I work with Brenda. Part of what the state looks at is ninth grade course failure rates and where that projects kids are going to be behind. And we said that we would decrease 10%, which would ultimately should raise graduation by 10%. But I'll work with Brenda to see where we currently are and then see what would seem
What
appropriate.
numbers we
Yeah.
want to use.
Do you want me to share what
Yeah.
I say? So we pulled our data last year at the same time because we're gonna host our standing on business day, which is our last push for the end of the semester to get students on track, before grades are due. And, last year there were like 378 Fs at the same point in time. And we pulled the data today and there were 177 Fs. So it's already, it was an improvement by 200 Fs. I know that that's still a lot, but that you can feel that it's already starting to shift. And by the time that semester happens, those numbers will be down because we'll have WIA, athletic grade check and things like that. So there's not going to be that much at that point. But you can see a culture shift already with academics and being ready to learn.
Good, that's to be applauded.
We were really impressed with it.
Well, and then I think that dovetails into the next thing that we learned for Kevin and Ron, and that is, number one, your role is to make sure that they have the support they need to achieve those goals. But number two, we should have a agenda item at least once a month about the progress that our staff are making toward getting their targets, their learning targets, providing, and the building principals provide you with data. You tell me what kind of data you want to see. It could be anything from exactly what Brenda was talking about to even looking at student work, perhaps a third grade level writing sample that was done within 5 or 10 days, not something that was done at the beginning of the school year. I mean, you get to pick that. You can help me figure out what it is you want to see. But when you start focusing your eyes on what we're expecting of our students and you're looking at our data, it puts more emphasis. Remember, she said what you focus on is where you get results. When you measure something, you get results. When you don't measure it, you don't get results, or something. A goal not set is a goal not achieved, whatever. And so when I I've already done the attendance monthly. I do that at the last meeting. I'm thinking that we will do a report on what we've accomplished with solution trees because we're paying a lot of money for that as well. But then we'll bring data pieces in. I'd also like to include Myron and Insight to see what kind of data they would want to share that they're measuring in progress. And I was thinking about the pyramid where your goals are here, mine are the next level, the schools are the next level, the teacher teams are the next level, and then the individual students are the bottom tier. You know how she had that triangle. So we really should see a little bit of everything. We should see some student work. We should see some improvement in school
But I don't
goals.
want, not cherry pick though.
No.
'Cause
So
we often, I think, see high achievers work when we've seen that stuff in the past. I'm not for certain, I just get that feeling.
Okay.
We haven't seen any for a while.
So the next board meeting where we can discuss this further, but I want you to be thinking about the kinds of things that you would like to see. Like I know when we did the meeting in Elena's building and the students shared what they were doing in their health class, that was really meaningful. To see what kind of the kids were doing and what they're learning, the new curriculum that's an example of a resource that you provided so kids could be engaged.
Yeah. So how does Insight tie into our goals?
So each of the schools have school improvement plans. They all look very similar. And they use
Similar to,
the format.
theirs look similar to
The
ours.
format
here?
is very similar because of the state process.
Okay,
So remember, you are required by law to approve their school improvement plans within the first month of school. That doesn't mean that they don't change, but generally speaking, there's an academic goal. There's some either attendance behavior goal, and then some form of communication with parents, improving communication with parents. Maybe it's a good time where we take a look at those again, but those are changing documents. Insights have a goal Myron, are you there? Sheila, are you there?
I am here. Yeah, I am here. So our goals are focusing mostly on in English, ELA, and math proficiency. And then the other one is really connected to career technical education proficiency, because we found a lot of our students need that CT pathway to graduate, and so we really try to dial in on those key pieces to help drive our
but how do excuse me, how do our goals of 90%, how are they going to affect what you're doing? Assuming that you were striving to get 10% better in third grade or whatever, but now we want, we're talking about wanting 90%. Well, how
Big
will
jump.
that, it is a big jump, and how does that fold into your operation?
Well, I think that one of the things we could certainly talk about when we come up next week, I just kind of thinking about this, is I can kind of show you some of the things that we are doing. Like one of the things that we do that is pretty intense, I shouldn't say intense, but I think it really delves into what we're trying to get to, is like we have a lot of data dashboards that we're able to get because we are online, right? So we get a lot of data coming forward. And then we have regular reviews with our portfolio leadership, including Sheila, where we go through all of the key indicators, we have some months we look at leading indicators, some months we look at lagging indicators, trying to identify what we're doing to really drive that needle and meet not only the school district goals, our school goals, but also the state goals. And so that's kind of where we're at. I can see that Sheila also wants to interject as well.
Sure. Go ahead, Sheila.
No, I think Myron covered it really well. And we do hone in on that. And we are super focused on state accountability metrics and really diving into what we can understand, like take us to that next level, which helps the district, things as much as testing participation, right? That gives us a point, but also our proficiency and growth within year. So we do, as Myron said, a monthly review of where we are on academics and performance to our big term goals. And what we're going to do, actions in terms of next 30 days. So we're on a constant cycle of what's next to get us a little better and a little better and a little better.
Okay.
I think that regardless of whether or not the buildings go back and revise theirs now, us setting a 90% tells our community and our stakeholders that we want high expectations. I don't see that there's a problem with that. I think it's only going to be the starting point of changing, and that's why we're doing the work with Solution Tree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
well, I'm
we've
okay
been
with it. I just
hesitant
didn't
to do it
wanna,
in the past. Part of it comes from a former state school improvement model about achievable goals and moving kid by kid to the next level, 1, 2, 3, 4. But I like what Janelle Keaton said about establishing a sense of urgency. So we only have the kids 1 year, 180 days. You don't establish that sense of urgency like, oh, we'll do it next year, or we'll get 2 here and 2 here. I think it's just going to start shifting the
well, and
culture.
I think it ties into that PLC program, because we're trying to get, the idea behind that is to get likes on the same page doing the same thing, and not kind of this shotgun approach to. And so I think it is more achievable if we are following through with that PLC.
I had an
program.
interesting conversation. I hope you don't mind me saying this, Elena, with Jen Leverington today. She was in my office for another meeting, and her scores were above the state level. She in 5th grade science. Remember, they do the walkouts in 5th grade, 8th grade, and then 10th, 11th grade. And I asked her, what are you doing that is different? And she says, oh, my curriculum at the 5th grade level is very different than the middle, but I have 8 targets that I teach all year long. It's very focused. It's very honed in. She said, I get my multilingual and they read charts weekly. They do a weather chart, science chart, and that's in the 70% of our English language arts testing is technical reading. And she said they get so used to it that by the time the test comes and there's a big chunk of the test that's on it, they perform really well. Whether it's she said, I have special ed students passing it, I have multilingual learners passing it. And she said, it's because I can narrowly hone in on 8 targets that you spread out over 10 months. It doesn't mean you don't teach any of the other, but she goes, it's really targeted. So that's what we're trying to do with it. That's why she's getting results.
What grade is that?
5th grade.
So things like charts and all can be integrated into all kinds of things,
Mhm.
just like English can and
Social
history and social
studies, yeah.
studies. They all can be integrated, but it has to be done in a coordinated fashion, and you want to do it across like levels.
So one of my thinkings is that might be a good place to start, where she comes in and shows you what she has. I mean, just so you get a better feel, because I just asked her the kind of open-ended question today, and she rolled it out.
Yeah.
The other thing with Insight that's different than our brick and mortar schools is that because we are testing kids at 26 testing sites, or is it 30, Myron, somewhere in there?
Too many.
And
It
they,
depends on the, too many, yeah.
Too many, we need
And-
remote testing.
yeah, we're dependent on their parents getting them to the testing site.
So there are
That our
factors.
participation rate in our online program is much more challenging than,
Understood.
and there's a bill where they could potentially test remotely. There's a proposal tomorrow with hearing at legislation. So we'll see how that plays out.
Okay, well, good. Yeah, I know that there are
And
added
Mike,
challenges. Go ahead.
sorry, I was just gonna say, and if I could add, the goals are great. The thing that we try and focus on is the tactical implementation plan. So it's good to say we're going to get to this level, but what are we going to do between now and when we measure that result? And, so we really focus heavily on the tier 1 instruction, our targeted interventions, all those things are going to help raise those performance outcomes for these students. And so I just think one can't happen without the other. I guess I just wanted to make
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's a strategy and then there's the tactics to get there.
right.
Absolutely.
100%.
We don't do the tactics. That's you guys.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you. So
lot.
that's number one. There's some changes coming. What are we doing here? Are we just reviewing them?
Yeah.
Yeah, and seeing how we're doing?
Yeah, and I was thinking with number 2, once we get past the EP and O levy, we schedule, we said we would do 2 focus group meetings, and part of it, we're building a systems communication plan. It would be good to do a focus group where we brought somebody in where you could sit and listen to a group. I don't know if you want to do a parent focus meeting, a community member focus meeting, alumni. We remember.
Go ahead.
Go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
We did this student several years ago, but
It seems like we've done 2 student
Mhm.
ones. I think we need to do a community and or parent one.
Okay.
We keep talking about getting with the parents, and so I think maybe now's the time to.
I agree. I think I would like to hear from parents.
And maybe do it in the auditorium, where you can get a lot of people there.
Well,
No.
but you want to focus.
you want to focus. You want to make sure you get a variety of
You don't want a
demographics.
meeting necessarily.
We'll figure out the logistics, or I'll bring a plan, and then
Well, I
you
think
can.
the way we had it with the tables last time with the group was pretty, yeah.
And what was the facilitator idea?
Just somebody who can make sure that you guys are doing similar things at your table where you're
Oh.
with a group and can hear and
Sure.
hone in on the questions. Yeah, it was interesting just listening to I don't know how many were there, 7 at the PTO meeting about our communication system, especially if you have kids in 3 different buildings and you're getting 3 different ways of communication, and it can be overwhelming sometimes. Or too much sometimes, not enough another. And again, our communication plan, we're building a systemic communication plan where in the month of September, this goes out in the month of October. So parents are getting consistent messages from the school, from my level, building level, teacher level.
Okay.
So when we did the students, we did high school, wasn't it? Just high school?
High school and middle.
Is there middle school?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So if you do this with the parents, what's it gonna be? Middle school and high school also?
No, we would want to do K-12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get word
So we
from
get
it.
Enough people to get a good
Yeah.
consensus of what.
Mhm. To see the patterns. Yeah.
We could ask people to sign up and then we
Do a
do a
lottery.
lottery or
Yeah.
something
We could.
so that everybody feels welcome, but.
Mhm.
And then, how many community meetings are you going to that we should be helping you with?
So far I have been.
Well, I mean, aside from the levy,
Aside from the levy, I generally just attend chamber now. It is I mean, I will sometimes go to West End Business, which is in the morning, the same day chamber is. And then only on an ad, I don't regularly attend anything else. It's just too much, to be honest. I mean, we have so much more on our
I
plates.
got you.
But it would be good just in being out and talking about the EP&O levy talks have gone really, really well. They're going really, really well. But it would be good to also get my administrators to come with me, maybe one here and there, just so there's engagement with the community where they can answer questions.
How many more levy meetings do you have?
I've got 4, 2 intern, 1 more intern, 2 more internal. I got ECAP and the alternative school, and then 3 other engagements outside.
At the chamber meeting that I went to, Diana actually changed somebody's mind from the negative to the positive
Mhm.
because they didn't realize which has taken me 30 years to figure out, that the idea of we don't take the equalization taxes, those are our taxes that we've already paid, are going to go to somebody else.
Mhm.
And this woman was going to take it back to her family and make sure that they all voted for it too.
Mhm.
So
That was an eye
it's
opener.
a powerful
Yeah.
presentation. I think best
Mhm.
we've had in
Yeah.
terms of the information. So
Mhm.
although it's no different, it's just
No,
Very-
it's just, and then our levy equalization is higher again, and losing potentially that 20+ million over 4 years would be
yeah. And the
devastating.
kicker is it's it's money we've already paid to the
We're already
state.
being taxed.
So it's our money coming back to us. And
Yeah.
I think that appeals to
There'll be an
at least that
article,
woman.
there'll be an article in the newspaper, and then there'll be the flyer in the newspaper 3 times, and then we got a mail out of the flyer going to every mailbox. I mean, 3,000 some mailboxes.
So do you need somebody to go to one of your external meetings remaining?
No, I don't think, I think I'm okay.
Okay,
Might take some administrators. If I do, I'll let you know.
all right. Yeah, I'm available most
Okay.
times. Okay, and that's goal number 2. Goal number 3,
We're doing.
I think that's in
It's later on in the agenda too, yeah.
it's in process.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So we'll just
Revise the top
revise the
part.
top
Okay.
top goal.
Okay.
If that's suitable, okay with everybody?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
And if staff will support us in that, we're gonna do it anyway, but we prefer your support. Okay, great. How about the PTO? Yeah, how about the parent? Okay,
Like you said, you gotta set them high if you're gonna achieve them.
okay, because that's what you do with your own kids. You set your goals high and All right. Great, thank you all. That was a good discussion. Review of the superintendent's goals.
So then I'm looking at mine, and mine are a little different, with a performance goal number one being the implementation of the PLCs and bringing you that work. So, because there were a lot of good questions about where are teachers with getting their learning targets, going back again to what we do in year 1, year 2, and year 3. But I think what I need to add on there, that evidence of monitoring will be an agenda item at a monthly agenda item at the board meeting with data provided. And then performance goal 2, I need to change those.
Wait, let's go back up to 1 for a second.
Yeah,
Are we gonna be done with this in a year?
no, you are never done with this.
Okay, but I mean the training, you have
Our-
completed PLC training with the solution tree coach as evidence of monitoring, but that's probably unreasonable for goal number 1 if you're not gonna be done.
Well, the first year, it's a 3-year cycle. When we get through, remember, it's a 3-year.
Okay, so you completed year
process.
1.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Move on.
And then performance goal 2, I'll change those 20% increases to match your 90% increases.
Okay.
And then we'll work on the data we want to bring. We've done our iReady winter scores, so that would be one thing we could show if the kids are taking it seriously.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah, and we've already seen some of the data, like on truancies are way down and
Yeah.
that sort of thing. So good, keep it up. And we've got the percentages in there again too.
Yeah, I'll modify those, and then I'll bring them back to the board, the next board meeting.
Okay.
And then the performance goal 2 matches the goal of the
1 achievement.
Yeah, 20-year facility plan, and then I added the EP&O levy and the middle school replacement project, which we're going to talk about here, and then the high school baseball and softball fields. We secured the grant. Can I check that off?
Sure.
Good job.
Yeah, by all means.
Okay,
How much was it? $1.5 million?
$1.5 million, yeah.
Yeah. Better check it twice.
That's good.
Yeah, and as a result, which community didn't get it? The one without the stadium, Elma didn't get. They were second on the list, yeah.
So if we don't want it, they'll get it?
Mhm.
Sorry.
We're starting the project next month, so.
Sorry, Elma. You can come play us. Okay, so those changes will be made and we'll see them next time. All right, thank you, Diana. That was very good. Now it's time for board member reports. I'll start off. I went to the Chamber of Commerce meeting and Diana gave a nice presentation, like I said, that changed the mind of one person there. At least verbally, they said they changed their mind. But then the board and the school, I think, got a really nice compliment from a woman who was there, whose daughter has had some real problems. I think she even came and talked to us earlier this year. And she said that the school responded and the staff responded beautifully. And she was pleased with the board's response to her presentation. And she was singing your praises all the way, for a long time, she was there. I mean, she was so pleased with the changes she'd seen in her daughter, and positive changes. And so thank you all, board, for supporting her, but thank you to your staffs who are doing the tactical nitty-gritty work with this young lady. So pass that on to you. Anybody else? Mike, got something?
No report from me.
Kevin?
Well, I seen on the news where is the state gonna try to pass legislation to say that there's no schools in the, I think I seen that. I know, no cell phones in the schools.
It was actually an item in last year's legislation, and I don't think it made it to the list, past the House and the Senate.
Trying to do it again.
Yeah,
And I was kind of wondering how it's going in school here, how, like high school. Because some people have been coming in and telling me it's not going that well. There's still a lot of people using their phones.
So we revisited the policy today.
What's that?
We revisited the policy today during our staff meeting, and then I asked the staff to reteach the expectations to their students and kind of reset the expectation. But yeah, it's been
A challenge.
a challenge, and it's new, so we're just gonna keep revisiting. One of the staff members shared, and I've been doing research on school-free or cell phone-free schools, trying to figure out how to support the staff and break these habits. But one of the staff members shared that they have friends that aren't in Washington State, and there's the family was shocked that they can even have access to them in schools, because in some of the schools, you have to like check your phone as soon as you enter the building, and then they just don't have access to them till the end of the day. So I've been researching like the pouches and things like that to try to figure out how to support people. But it's gonna take a hot minute. Not that we're not trying, we are. It's
So you need another week, 2 weeks?
know that I'm doing as much as humanly possible to support teachers and to try to support kids, so.
Yeah, well, let us know about that research too, or let Diana know so she,
Have you reached out to Peninsula?
Say that again?
Have you reached out to Peninsula High School?
Peninsula School District, Gig Harbor.
Gig
No, I
Harbor?
have not.
They're the ones that me and Diana went to at the WASDA conference,
Okay,
and they did a lot of research. And that's a big school,
uh-huh,
and it's going really well with staff and students, believe it or not.
okay.
So they've done a lot of work on it beforehand, and then they implemented it, and it's, working real well, so. And they did say that if other school districts would like to find out we're open, they're the ones that gave the presentation.
Okay.
So it was really a good one, actually.
Okay.
well, don't get discouraged because it's a worthy goal.
Thank
It's a
you.
worthy
I was
thing.
pretty discouraged earlier in the week. Well, I guess that was yesterday.
And
Earlier in the week. Kevin, I will look that we get a Friday memo from WASA of all the legislative bills, and that would be a hot topic or one that would surface. So I'll look and see what all bills are being introduced. And then, of course, they start getting eliminated once the process
And I
goes.
might have misunderstood it, but I thought that's what it said.
Yeah, it would make sense to me because they're linking the use being on social media, addicted to your phones, like the bad dopamine, where you get addicted to it, and then it's almost it's a counteractive of being social, and it's isolating kids more. So they're thinking that's part of the whole mental crisis when you're looking at researchers across the nation. So it could very well happen.
so what happens if, so it'd be for the good then if TikTok is banned from the US, right? Because that's on the
Make people
table,
want it more.
Yeah, it's gonna happen next week, so.
unless
8 days.
Elon steps up and buys it or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, can't.
I'll say some good news on that though. Well, before I get to the good news. Part of that is the headphones are a big deal now, I think. And the called AirPods.
Yeah.
Still a problem. But every time I call a parent, I'm always supported by the parent. And that's good.
That's a good thing.
Because they probably would like to get them out of their ears
And we
too.
have kids who have their cell phones taken away, and we're very supportive of the school.
Okay,
Good to
good.
know.
We've had
So it
people-
might not be so hard.
We've had people at the store trying to wear earpods, working, and third time they're gone.
Hmm.
Jim's finally cracking down on that.
Good.
The safety issue too.
Oh,
Yeah, it is.
Somebody couldn't talk to you. What, huh?
Yeah, okay, thanks, Kevin, good question. Ron, got anything?
Not really.
How's coaching going?
It's going good.
You liking it?
Yeah.
Yeah, good, all right,
Been doing it for a few years, so.
I know.
Yeah.
Shannon, got anything?
Well, something we kind of I brought up, when we had our training, same as like cell phones, but the glasses,
Yeah.
meta glasses,
Oh, yeah.
that'll be the new next policy. We'll
They're
have to-
smart glasses.
Yeah,
You can buy them for
So-
$340 and it would read a test question and give you the answer. It'd be in the peripheral part of your
It'll
glasses.
make me smarter.
so
Some of
kids are
those.
starting to get those as well. And
You get a lot of kids during the test saying, hey Siri,
Uh-huh.
here's my question.
Right.
We'll hit the 90%. We'll give you an incentive. We'll buy you a pair of glasses.
Yeah, I guess we didn't tell her how to reach the 90%, did we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of that before you brought it up. That was a really good point, because they're just brand new, kind of,
Yeah,
you know, they're
and
just
kids
hitting the
are, I mean,
streets.
and the prices, I mean, who would
Oh.
have thought that everyone would have a $1,000 phone, and but they do. But so, I mean, you're
Yeah,
gonna see
how do
kids
they
getting
do
them.
that?
Yeah, and just, with kids testing and stuff, if they have their phone, they can easily, take a quick snapshot of the test question and get their answer right away. So,
Oh, that's true.
And write the essays for them. Wow,
absolutely,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. But I know we need to find a way to
do it in Spanish.
like incorporate AI
Mhm.
because it is the way of the future. But
But if they don't have their phone, they can't take the snapshot.
yeah, so yeah,
Glasses.
and then just
Contact.
we got a home wrestling tonight,
Mhm.
and I think
Oh.
the only other one's the 25th, and that's it for wrestling. Basketball, the boys are doing amazing. They're doing really good. How are the girls? Doing
Okay.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's starting league, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just kind of watching the legislative, like with the funding for the schools. That's a
Hot topic.
really hot topic right now. So
Oh,
we're just
gosh,
kind of
yeah, with a
following that.
multi-billion-dollar deficit.
Yeah, to
Mhm.
see what,
Yeah, Seattle's hurting. There's Seattle School District.
to see what happens there.
$100 billion.
Well, and it's one they can't ignore because there's so many schools in, what do they call it, receivership, or not receivership, but
Binding
binding
conditions.
conditions, which is kind of receivership.
Mhm.
Yeah, so they got to do something.
We're very fortunate.
Yes.
Maybe
'cause
we
it's-
could start loaning money at user rates.
10%.
Okay. Thank you. Hazel, you got anything?
Nope.
No? Okay.
Hazel made her first annual, she made it a whole year with you guys. Let's
Oh.
With us,
congratulate
it's
her.
with you.
That was a fast year, the fastest year on record, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Wow.
Yeah.
I think my first meeting was the election last year.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Yeah.
This meeting.
Well,
This
congratulations.
meeting.
And they finally got some
Thank you for
drywall
sticking
up
with
in one
us.
of their rooms.
Thanks for keeping me.
So,
Yeah, drywall up.
finally got some drywall up. All right, Sheila or Myron, who's gonna?
I think Myron's going to talk a little bit about some energy we have around remote testing in the state of Washington.
Yeah, so that's a pretty big deal. So we actually, it was kind of a surprise to us. There is a hearing tomorrow, and we have asked several of our families, and we have a lot of staff that are actually supporting as well, logging into social support for this bill to allow for remote testing. And we have some people from the Parent Coalition as well as from our school that'll be testifying as well tomorrow. And I'm happy to send that information to Diana, so you guys can, if you'd like to log in to support as members of the board, that would be amazing. It would be really a huge deal for us, just because it's, as Diana shared, some of the biggest obstacles we have to getting kids in state testing is, number one, identifying facilities, right, that meet all of our needs. I'm trying to find those facilities near where the families live. And then there's that challenge of getting all these kids to transport themselves to the facilities. And so there's definitely some major challenges, and it would really help with equity to have the ability to do remote testing where we can test the kids where they're actually going to school, which is in their homes, as opposed to having them kind of uprooted. Because the other thing that happens too is that anytime you uproot someone from where they're at, right, it kind of throws you off a little bit. And so it can certainly create some challenges there as well. So we're super excited. We're hoping that we're able to continue to get some momentum on this bill.
Yeah.
The other thing I kind of want to share with you is we just received an email near the end of the day today from one of our parents, and this is a parent of one of our special education students who started with us in September. This student happens to be in our functional skills, programs, and this parent kind of shared she wanted to take a moment to tell us and our colleagues that about the amazing job that our teacher and our para are doing. She reports that her student came from brick and mortar school that he'd been in since kindergarten. Since starting with our program in September, he's actually excelled and prospered more than he did when he was at his prior school. She says that this is one of the lines I just think was amazing. He goes, he actually enjoys and loves school, as to where he would literally cry about getting up to go to school before. He's learning science, social studies, all the things that he wants to learn, and he actually loves to go to school every day. And so I just think that kind of speaks to how sometimes while some people kind of discount online learning, it can be a huge deal for kids and families. And so, and trying to help them and meet them where they're at. And so we're really excited about that. And then it's just to kind of add to the momentum of our school right now. We are anticipating starting our September with a head count probably of around 32, probably close to about 3,300. No, I'll make sure I'm on the right numbers here. Probably close to about 3,300. I'm guessing we're probably going to be close to 32, about 3,000, just shy of 3,300, I believe, is where we're going to start with our September head count. So,
Wow, good.
It's amazing.
Well, that's good news. I'm glad that mother took the time to write to you. All right. Anything else, Myron or Sheila?
We're looking forward to seeing you next meeting.
Yeah, bring your bibs.
Looking forward to it. Book my plane ticket.
Oh, good.
I'm getting out of the
That's
California fires to come up to Washington.
Sheila, you're not close to the fires, are you?
I'm a little over an hour south, but it's a hot mess out here.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't take long for a fire to go an hour south.
Yep.
Hope it doesn't come to that. You getting winds tonight?
Yeah, the winds are pretty high right now. Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah.
All right. Well, stay safe. You can evacuate up here if you need to.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. We have no wind, no rain, no fire.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's
We have
nirvana.
lots of water.
Okay. Let's move on to new business. First thing on the agenda is our MOU between the College Success Foundation and our prep school district partners. And prep school district partners and QVSD for student service programs for this school year, September 1, 2024 through August 31, 20,225.
I changed it in there.
That's quite a ways out, but if you're gonna get a contract, that's the one to get. What is that, about 18,000 years?
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's supposed to be 2025. All right.
So this was a Bill Gates grant with Peninsula College and West Sound Tech, which is a consortium of CTE programs in South Kitsap. And it's a 3-year grant which provides services to our students who to prepare them better for college readiness. The Quileute Tribal School and Nia Bay, and I think Port Angeles.
Yeah, Port Angeles.
Yeah.
Lincoln.
And so it just this College Success Foundation is a nonprofit organization in Washington State that's been around for 20 years, and they promote college readiness. And so because we were one of the selected groups, we would need to provide this contract services agreement so that we already have the individual, we have an individual counselor type person assisting Brenda and Shauna, our counselor, with college readiness activities.
And she's based here in
He
the
is
school.
based here,
He's
yeah.
based here in
He-
school,
he
but he
comes-
helps all the other schools?
Yeah,
Comes once a week. So he was here yesterday, he'll be here next Wednesday. And he was here last Monday, and he kind of rotates through, yeah.
Okay, what does he do?
Right now, he's facilitating our college and career fair in March. He's also getting ready to facilitate a field trip with Cheryl Archibald to get students to like Bates Community Technical College, like things like that. We're talking about getting him to take them to a field trip to Platypus so that they can see industry. So they used to focus solely on college, but now they're focusing on college and career. So they're broadening their horizons with the push for CTE. So it's kind of actually beautiful on what we're doing, and I'm just trying to pick his brain to see how many opportunities we can get kids.
So, Ms. Archibald, what year is that?
See, she's our English teacher.
Right. Oh,
So
okay.
She's helping facilitate.
Well, she
the
bounced
CTEs.
around.
Yeah.
Okay, so who pays, so we pay the field trip costs?
No.
Or this whole,
No.
this whole
Coming
thing?
out of that
Yeah.
grant.
So
We-
I'd like to go see Platypus. Can I get invited?
you
Huh?
can.
Be a chaperone.
You can
Oh,
be a
gosh, I'd have to
chaperone.
do something.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, if I could.
Yeah, I could put you on there, yeah, you can get on the bus and hang out with them, and,
Yeah,
let's
well,
try to get Westport, so some of the local agencies.
I've always been curious about that place, so,
Me too.
and I want to find out why they haven't finished my boat yet, but they won't answer the phone.
Like we tell the students when.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of awesome things that are happening locally.
Okay. Yeah, if you would, I'll make it if I can. Oh, wait, if you want me to be a chaperone, I guess I need, let me know when it's happening and I'll tell you if I can be a chaperone.
Yeah, I'll put you on my list.
Okay. All right.
On the list.
All right. Any other questions about this? Is there a motion then to,
So this is covering all three of them,
no?
No, we have to have three different ones.
but you were talking about the Bill and Melinda Gates one down the bottom.
They're all associated with it, yeah.
But they're all different
Yep.
lawyers. Okay, so number one MOU, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
I hope there are no more questions, but if there are, you can ask them now. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed say no. MOU, I'm not gonna read that whole thing. The first MOU is done, is approved. Now, the second MOU, the same questions and explanations apply?
This is just so that their hired staff can access student data to work with students. It might be on their grades, just to have access to
okay.
Skyward.
Okay. All right, is there a motion to approve MOU data sharing?
Go ahead. I'll make a motion, we'll do MOU
Thanks,
number
Mike.
2.
Second?
Second.
All right, any questions come up in the meantime? No? All those in favor of MOU 2 data sharing, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say no. All right, and last but not least, the MOU West Sound STEM, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation Horizons Grant. Last year was $25,000. No, that's this year.
That's this year.
25, 26 is 11, and their 26, 27 is 10. Is that what pays for all this?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so is there a motion then to approve the MOU for West Sound STEM money to pay for the top two?
I'll make a motion to approve the MOU West Sound STEM.
Thanks. Second?
I'll second.
All right, any questions? Any comments, Diana? No?
No.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed say no? No. Oh, I mean, no, I already said aye. Disregard, scratch that. Okay, it's approved. Superintendent's evaluation process. All those in favor say aye.
It's that
All
time.
those opposed say no? No.
it's that time for you to prepare. Do you want me to send you the electronic copy where you can put some of the strengths, some of the challenges, like you've done in the past?
Yes,
Okay. Did you
Please.
hear that? Okay,
Yes, got it.
we'll get that to you.
Okay.
And then have that filled out for the next meeting, and then we get to go talk about it in exec session, and we'll finalize it in February.
Okay. Well, we can do that. It just seems like we just did it.
I know it. I know it.
Okay, old business. MOU with Collin County Juvenile Services establishing a community engagement board.
This is a standard MOU that we do yearly so that we can engage in truancy court, which we already do. We haven't always gotten one every year from Clallam County, but it meets the letter of the law,
Oh.
which says we have to do certain things prior to taking our truancy court cases to them.
Okay. All right, is there a motion for that?
I'll make a motion to accept MOU with Collin County Juvenile and Family Services.
Thanks, second.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say no. It passed. Forks Middle School replacement bond. Discussion process for hiring an architect and a citizens committee.
So just as soon as we pass our EP&O levy on February the 11th, we will get started on the replacement for the middle school. So we did an RFQ we're required by law to do a request for qualifications. For architectural services, we had 6 responses, which
Really?
is
That's good.
unusual. Usually we get 1. So we will put a small committee together, and I would like at least one board member on there who wants to volunteer. We're going to interview all 6. We think that we've just kind of done a preview. They each have unique characteristics, and really not sure.
So the committee
Would make a recommendation to you, and then you guys do the hiring.
but the committee will interview
The 6 of them. Mhm. So it'll be about a good half a day process, if not more.
Mhm.
Anyone interested?
I'll do it. I mean, if nobody wants to, I guess I'm available. I don't want to take opportunity away from anybody.
When would it be?
It would be during the week.
Yeah, so
I know.
That's all right.
I know it's hard for working folks.
I'll do it.
I don't
I'm
know
a
lot
working
about
folk.
architects.
Don't get
You
me
can
wrong.
learn. And
Mine's
then,
good. We're
So
good at building.
we don't have a date set for that.
no, just as soon as we're gonna, Bill and I will work to get it set up. I will probably have Bill, Jan, Kyle, me, and then you and maybe one community member who would also help us form a citizens committee. So generally speaking, the citizens committee is a committee made up of 12, no more than 15. You guys appoint the committee. It'll be a committee that works for a whole year with the architect to develop the design for the building. And we want to be careful who we put on that committee because it feeds into the bond. So you want people who know construction, people who have vested interest in buildings and how they're built. I'm just thinking about who we had when we built this high school. We had Dick Moody. We had people who just had really paid a close attention to construction. We would want parent representation who would have middle schoolers. We'll have at least our building principal, Elena, and several staff members from her building. So I'm open to, I want you to be thinking about who you would see on that committee. I can share the list with you, what we did 20 years ago, but it's going to be meaningless because some of those people moved or, yeah.
Moved on.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then
That's
we
exciting.
generally we can have 2 board members, but we generally want your input as well so that you can, and then that committee reports back to the board on the development of the process. And it takes about a year, and we want that for timing, because if we go out for the bond, we'll have to determine whether we want to go out for the bond on the 26 general or the February 2027. There's pros and cons of each. With the bond, you need a 60+1 and validation. You have to get 40% of the previous general election. So, for example, our last general election, if we were putting it on this February, there were 84% who turned out for the general election. So you'd have to get 40% of that. Typically in February, we get 1,200 votes out of 3,700. A much lower
30%,
percentage.
Mhm.
You don't have to come up with that now, but that will be something, the first thing, once we hire the architect, they'll start putting the timeline together with those meetings. And again, generally it takes 6 months worth of meetings to get there.
Okay. Great, that's exciting.
It is exciting.
All right, let's.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah, keeps everybody out of trouble and out of the tap room. Okay, next on old business, we have revision of the Forks High School Film and Photography Club. I didn't have the original to compare it to. What was revised on those?
The name,
Oh,
Changing it to Media Club.
changing it to Media Club instead of,
oh,
you know what it was before
Film
that?
and photography.
Film and photography. Okay, I'm glad
Oh,
she's here. I wouldn't have
okay.
known that.
Who's the advisor on that?
Tashina Erickson. She's a ELA teacher at the high school.
Which, we'll mention her a little later in this. If you notice on all three of these clubs, she's the club advisor. But on the last one, she's also the club president. I wondered how could that be?
I think it might be a
At least
mistake.
last night, let me double check here.
Is that spreading the truth then?
Yeah, so she's,
It does say club president signature. She can't be the club president. So do the first one and then we'll bring the, you can table it
back.
and we'll bring it back. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't catch that. Sorry.
It's okay. So is there a motion then to approve the revision to the school film and photography club to media? To what? Media Club. Changing the name.
I'll make a motion for the revision of the Forks High School Film and Photography Club to the Media Club.
Second?
I'll second.
All right, well, just out of curiosity, why do we even have to approve that?
It's part of the ASB process.
Okay.
So
Well,
if we got it,
can't they approve it?
they have to approve it and then you approve it.
Oh,
Yeah,
Okay.
they vote on it and then you vote on it.
it just seems
Because
like.
if the auditor comes in and wants to look at any fundraising, that's one of the things they're gonna look
okay.
at.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we don't want to mess the auditors up.
No.
Okay. All right, all those in favor of changing the name to Media Club, say aye. Aye. Any opposed, say no. None are opposed. It's revised. Revision of the school speech debate and high school book club will be tabled until,
No, there's
No.
there's a book club and then there's a
oh, so the
Yeah.
debate club is separate?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the motion then, is there a motion to revise the high school book club?
I'll make a motion to revise the high school book club.
And what did they change to?
I'll
you know what
second.
was missing on that?
Thanks, Mike.
Do you know?
No, I know.
Gosh, what happened here?
I'm not 100%. Oh,
Maybe they just changed the date.
Yeah.
I don't think we had this approved by the board is my understanding. And we need
Oh,
to,
originally?
yeah. Mhm.
Oh,
I never remember seeing that.
okay, well. Did we get a motion then?
We did.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed, say no.
Was there a second?
I
Oh,
seconded
you
it.
did. Okay, thank you.
Oh, I wouldn't go on without a second.
No, I missed it.
I'm kidding. All right, Well, that wraps up the,
But on the debate club, do they
sorry.
actually have a schedule out? I'd like to see them in action.
She actually has a class too. So, if I can remember correctly, one of them she's trying to put on pause for the year, but I can't tell you which one because the number of students wasn't enough. So she doesn't have enough people in the class to go to compete. But that's her ultimate goal where she wants to go is to get them in competition. For that. So she's just operating. She's so good.
Okay.
If you want it, is in a classroom, absolutely.
Okay, yeah.
It's a good skill to have.
Yeah, I mean, you
When you're
watch these
negotiating.
politicians and stuff, and it's like they can argue. keep their
Negotiating a
cool without throwing
contract,
punches and calling
We
names.
didn't vote on that.
No, we're tabling
No, we're
it.
gonna table it since she named herself president. Maybe that's the one she's having. We'll bring it back.
She doesn't have enough people to be the president. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, we do have an executive session to review a public employee performance. So the normal part of our meeting is complete. Good night, y'all. Thanks for coming.
Cookie there.
Thank you
I get
all, and it'll be about
Thanks for your
15.
input.
It'll be, thanks, bye, you guys. Stay
Bye.
safe.
We'll see you
Stay
soon.
safe. Okay,
I know, I've been eyeing them over there. It's like, okay,
can you pass that last one over here? It's about
Uh-huh.
15 minutes.
Okay, there you go. It's all you, Bill.
He just adjourned it.
Oh,
Did
We're
you
gonna
guys-
take our books.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Good night.
so cool, look.
I know.
Isn't that the
I love
neatest
it.
idea? I
Yeah.
do too.